Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. So today we're here with another map guide, and it's time for Breakaway. Now I know that I'm just a little bit late to the party. I know that it's 3 years after launch, but I'm pretty sure there will be new players to the game, especially when we're almost a year away from the next Battlefield game. I'm pretty sure there will be new players, and they will need these map guides. And there's always something new for the experienced players in videos like this. So I encourage you to keep watching, even if you're experienced here, because there might be things that you don't know, right? So let's just get right into it, and we're starting from E site. Now E is somewhat a complicated site because there's just a lot of cover here, and there's a lot of complexity in turns here, and we're gonna make it simple, okay? There is one place that you can be and also contest the site while being safe and have a small height advantage. This is the place. If you're contesting the site, you have height advantage, and more importantly, if you need to run out of here perfectly, this is how you run away. Now you're away, but you still have the height advantage. So it's going to be really hard for the enemy team to be able to get you. There's also one place that you don't see a lot of people playing it, and it's this small container right here. It's just a bit harder to get here, and you don't really see a lot of people wanting to go through some jumping, you know, some parkour stuff. So this, in my opinion, is another good place. You can always play here and be safe, and I've seen people playing here. This is a solid place because there's solid cover here, and you also contest the site, and literally no one can flank you here. Like, honestly, there's no place for people to flank you, and they need to come at you from the front. So that's a very good advantage right there, because anyone that tries to kill you, you can see them clearly. Also, sometimes you're gonna get into some hide and seek situation here where you're just running and there are people around the containers trying to get you. If you ever find yourself in that situation, in my opinion, this is a very good hiding place that you can immediately get in and wait for them to come at you. So this is not actually bad to know. And I don't really recommend you playing on top of these containers because they're just too wide open, and you're not going to have any height advantage here. You're just going to make yourself more obvious to the enemies on top of this rooftop, or maybe even this one, or even people who spawn from back there. So that's something you need to be aware of. Don't really push yourself playing here. Doesn't really make sense. Or even some people play here. This really doesn't make sense. Also, if you see people on this rooftop, the best thing you can do is to first clear here. Clear it out. No one, no snipers, no radio beacons. Even sometimes people get on top of that platform right there. Just clear this place first, and then try to contest D site or E site. So that's very important, especially for D site. Now I'm going to tell you why. In D site, you have 3 levels. There's a ground level, which is here. There's the building level, which is just here in this building, and there's also a rooftop level. So this rooftop level that I'm right now playing at is really the best place you can be. And the reason for that is simply because you have the height advantage and there's everything on your site, and it's really hard for people to get to you. All of that is possible if that rooftop is simply clear. If there are people here, you won't be able to have an easy time trying to capture this site or whatever you want to do in this site. With people on top of that, with enemies on top of that building, you're not going to be having it so easily. The more important thing is they're going to come down for you so easy. So first of all, again, clear that rooftop, and once that's clear, then we're going to talk about the site itself. So for the rooftop, this, in my opinion, is the perfect place. You have even more height advantage. Getting to you is harder. You can simply just crouch here and hold these 2 stairs. So anyone coming from the ground level to the building level, or someone trying to get on top of the rooftop for you, they're going to cut them down. They're not going to be really expecting you to be here, and even if so, they won't be able to do much because you just have the advantage. You're going to see them first and all that. So that's something you need to consider. And also, I've seen people playing like this, and this is not bad, but again, you can see the difference. This one is clearly a better place. You just have more dominance, and that's what you want to have. There's also this tower, this small tower right here. Usually snipers go up there. I don't really recommend doing it because that's just not appropriate for the site. So yeah, keep that in mind. Going down to the building level, something you should always remember. Look at this. These small windows give you some clear lines of sight into the building. So if you're pretty sure almost with no doubt that there's someone in this building and you can approximately say where they are, these small glasses will give you the best peeks possible. Just look at this. Look how I can hold this door without even being seen by anyone coming inside. The whole building is surrounded by all these small glasses. For example, I can also hold this door right here like this. Simple as that. So that's a very helpful tip that you should always make sure to take advantage from. Generally speaking, I don't really recommend people to stay in this building for too long. I don't like this level at all. And I don't really want to be here for a lot of time. Even if you want to be in this level, there are better places you can be. For example, maybe here is a better place than inside a building because you're just trapped there. Or maybe you can just camp it out like this for anyone who's coming from behind. That's also something you can do. But in the basement level, you don't even need to do anything like crazy. You can just be here and contest the site. So if you think that's appropriate, just go ahead and do that. Now, take a look at this. This is a very interesting place you can be. I promise you nobody expects you to be here. Unless there are people on that rooftop and they like see you by accident. No one expects you to be here and you're still actually contesting the site. So keep this small tip in mind. And now let's take a look at this. When someone's coming from here, they're going to look here. There's no one, okay? And they're going to move on. Whether they're going on top of this building or coming here. Whatever the case is, if you're like here, they're not going to be expecting you because they just looked at this corner. There was no one. They're just going to keep moving on. And boom. They're going to be surprised by someone here. So if you're not sure where to pick to hold the site, I do believe this is a perfect place for you. Now, let me give you a small tip for getting out of D site to C site as well. By getting on top of this platform and simply doing something like this, you're going to get to C site really quickly. Like, look. Right now, I'm just contesting C sites. And that's a big issue for a lot of people because so many people take a lot of time to get to C from D site or E site, but this is a perfect way to do so. Now, speaking about D site, D is the place for most of the action in this map. Most of you already know this because you've played the map. You know how messy it gets sometimes. Most of the times, there's fire everywhere and all that kind of stuff. So the site is a very interesting corridor between A and B sector to D and E sector. So it's going to be always crowded and always messy, okay? These two fuel tanks will be blown away somewhere in the game. Most of the times in the first 5 minutes in the round, they're gone. Okay, but in that first 5 minutes, these two are the only HUD advantages that you can have in this site. And they are very important, especially in the beginning stages of the round. Like there are people coming from back there and you're trying to hold the C site for yourself. This is the perfect place to hold anyone off coming into the site from A and B. So do make sure to take advantage of that. But eventually, these two will be destroyed, okay? There will be big bang here by destroying them. You've probably seen it. Once those two are destroyed, your options will be limited. C is actually a very simple site as well. That's something you should know. It's very simple. There's not really a lot to learn about this site. There are just a few tricks that I'm going to tell you. If you're coming from this bridge, most of the times what I do is checking around here, and most of the times people will show themselves and I'm able to pick one or two off just by doing this, looking through this small gap here. And then when you want to continue to the site, this blue container right here will be your first cover. What you're going to do is you get yourself here and then you have to start improvising because there's really not a lot of places that enemies can go. Like they are most likely just around here. This is where you should be playing as well. Behind these containers, this is where you can most likely find enemies that you're looking for. There's also this small corner right here that some people, or even this one, some people might want to play here for some reason. But if you search everywhere and you just can't find anyone, most of the times people are like simply just camping here. Look. You find people camping here or doing things like this. I don't know. You know the drill. There's always that player who gets into the site, hides somewhere, and tries to, like, hopes to contest the site somehow. You can find people just doing this. So if you're not able to find anyone in the site, but you know that there's someone in there, in my opinion, check around these fuel tanks and you'll find your target. Just try not to make yourself some high advantages by getting on top of this. This is no high advantage. It's just going to make you awkward. So never try to get on top of these containers. That's what I'm going to recommend to you because it's not going to serve any purpose. If you want high advantage, these two are the perfect things you can have. When they're destroyed, just don't think about high advantage in C site, okay? Just stick to the ground and you'll be fine. Now let's take a fast look at A site. A, in my opinion, is the most complicated site in the game. Too many corners. There are so many places you can be, and in a minute I'll show you how. So let me start from back here. You can get into here. Sometimes if you're just trying to run away from someone or you're just trying to hide, this is a good place. That corner right there, that's also a good place. But if you want to be unpredictable, look at this. It doesn't matter where the enemy comes from, like which door they choose to get in. Wherever they come from, you're going to be a surprise because they don't expect anyone to be sticking to the ceiling like this. They just won't. Okay, and maybe this is also a good idea to be here. Of course, if this is not destroyed, because all it takes is a bullet. That's a good place to be. But generally speaking, on top of this, is going to be a perfect spot. Moving on, this is a common place. I really encourage you to not play around here. It's been a common place ever since this map existed, so just don't do that. Or maybe this small corner right here. Avoid it. There's also this one. These are the common places that you want to avoid. But if you want somewhere safe and some strong point, in my opinion, around this destroyed tank is a perfect place for you. This cover is solid. You have your exit right here. You can easily run away if things go south. That's the place I recommend you to play. There's also this corner. This is not a bad place as well. Place for you to know. And I've seen people even playing here, which is not bad. Not really. This is a good place as well. Between these containers, like here, this is also not bad. Like, killing people here is going to be really hard because you don't really expect anyone to be in the shadows like that. It's really hard to see unless you just go pre-fire, like you're pretty sure someone's there, or you just pre-fire by accident. It's going to be hard for you to kill them. Now you can also do something like this. I've never seen anyone up here. Never. In my life. I don't know why, but it's not that bad. You see everything. Not a lot of people actually expect you to be here. In my opinion, this is a perfect place. For some reason, people don't want to play here, but you got to be a bit different. So I encourage you to do that, and just let me know how it works. And the final place that you should know about is around here. This is not bad, really. This is another good place, and people really don't use it that much. It's not predictable. It's dark. People might not even see you. So that's all the advantages you can have. If you're solely trying to hold this door, in my opinion, this is another good place. Something that you should keep in mind is that you don't need to get into the site to be able to contest it. You can already contest the site from here, like between these containers. So if there's someone in the site and you can't find them, maybe they're actually camping around here. Check this place out as well. So don't bother yourself going on top of that rooftop unless it's absolutely necessary. Just try to avoid it. Play in the site, PTFO, get the objective, and get out. Now let's take a look at the final site here. B site. Let me start from this. Guys, most of the times when you are attacking this site and people want to spawn and defend it, they will usually spawn from back here, like behind this building, somewhere there, or just around here. They're going to be spawning here. Okay, and sometimes even behind this small silo here or around here. So the proximity is something like this all the way. Try to hold this place a lot more because it's most likely the place where people will come at you. So that's something you should always know. Getting into the side, if you want to hide somewhere, this is a good place for you, like this. And you can also hold this small gap here. There's another one of these places. Let me show you. And it's here. Simple as that. This is going to provide you some more hiding advantages as well. And the stronghold in this site is actually a small building. You're going to close the doors and you're just going to be in a place bulletproof with grid cover. So B is really that simple. If you want to play in that stronghold, enjoy the stronghold. But if you don't want to play there, in my opinion, the best place you can play is just by being here and holding around here, because I'm pretty sure there will be people spawning from here and you will be able to kill them pretty much easily because you have the height advantage. You've got cover. They literally have nothing there. Okay, that's just open terrain. So that's how you're going to play B side. Really simple. Don't bother yourself trying to do things that you don't need to do. You can also get on top of this stronghold, but this is not something you really want to do unless you have some good reasons, because you're going to be in the enemy eyes 24/7. Don't really do that, but that's something you can also do. Now, if I want to give you some general tips, in my opinion, playing LMGs in this map is going to really give you the edge because there's just a lot of open terrain. You can easily utilize a bipod to be able to give some suppressive fire. Killing with that bipod and that LMG is going to be really easy for you. Trust me, I've been there and did that, and that's really going to work. So that's all we've got for today's video. Hope it was helpful and hope you guys enjoyed watching. There are some more maps coming in the future. We've covered almost like 70% of the maps, and what's remaining are going to keep coming slowly over time. I'm just going to make sure to cover all the maps, and we have a playlist for it. The link to that playlist is down in the description of this video. You can go ahead and watch the guides on the previous maps, and you're going to be having a lot of map knowledge by simply watching these videos. So do make sure to check that out, and thank you guys for watching. Until next time, stay cool.